Hello, I'm Caroline and I am an early years professional specialising in children's speech and language skills. And I'm also a big believer in the capabilities that our young children have and how we can encourage them to be as wondrous as what they are from the ages of 1 to 5, where everything is so new and exciting. They are creative, they think critically, they have determination, they have all these skills that if we possess still as adults, we would just be so happy and successful in life. So I'm going to speak to you about a scheme or program that was introduced into schools a few years ago and called P4C. And it is about philosophy for children. Now, it may sound like something that you will just think, I know nothing about it, but it really is so simple to introduce it into your daily, weekly life with your family, or if you're somebody who is a professional, how you can encourage children to have high self-esteem, to have enhanced thinking, to have great morals, to not be afraid to question things that they don't agree with, and just basically to have children that are mindful, have open minds, listen to other people's points of views, question their points of views. And I just think it just can enhance all areas of their development. So I'm going to get started on how you can start to introduce this into the lives of your little ones. So a really good, easy way to start is to try practicing asking your children open questions as opposed to closed questions. So a classic one, when I was a teacher, parents would say, they never tell me what they've done. They said they didn't play with anybody. They said that they were sad at school, because parents are asking closed questions like, how was your day? Did you have fun? Were you sad? And sometimes the child just can't be bothered to answer the question, and they will just kind of automatically say yes, no, whatever comes into their minds first. But if you change the way that you word your questions, such as, can you tell me about your day? Can you tell me what you did during Busy Fingers? Can you tell me, what did you have for snack? Can you tell me, who did you play with when you were outside? Can you tell me what you had for lunch? And that kind of poses a different question. They have to tune in a bit more. So all those speaking and listening skills coming back in. And I think that you'll be surprised at how much more information you will get when you ask a child a open question instead of a closed one. You can also use this in a scenario where you've got two children playing, siblings, friends, and one of them is crying, and you might be kind of jumping to conclusions that they've hit or snatched, and instead of saying, did you hit Rosie? Did you snatch from Tom? You can say, oh my goodness, Rosie's upset. Can you help me? Can you tell me what happened so I can help her? And it kind of makes them think differently and instills empathy, and then you're able to speak about morals, right and wrong behaviour. How would you feel if that happened to you? What can we do next time? And all these sorts of questions really help your children to learn from your model and to hopefully cope with situations a lot better as life goes on. So I've also got some really nice dice that I use. I use these when I was working with speech and language children in an education setting, but I've also used it during my tutoring sessions with children to get to know them. So they're from Amazon. They're really nice questions and great for thinking, and then they'll be able to justify and explain things as well. So for example, this one says, what is the most important thing you own? So let them answer it. What makes it so important? What makes it so special? You know, do you think it's important to me? Do you think it's special to me? You know, especially if it's something like a favourite teddy. Yeah, that just opens their minds. What's the strangest dream you've ever had? If you were going to the moon, what would you take, or who would you take, and why? Why would you take that person? And you can ask questions like, who is your best friend? And why is that person your best friend, you know? Because they might say, oh, because we like, you know, playing Batman together, or because I like her curly hair. But we want children to be able to think about people's personalities, their character. You know, what do they make you happy? Are they kind to you? Do they ever make you sad? If they do make you sad, do they say sorry, and do they try to change that? You know, they are the sorts of things that we want to be able to do. So some books that you can use whilst getting your children to think philosophically are the good old traditional stories like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Cinderella, the Three Little Pigs. So whilst you're reading these books, you could ask questions like, you know, do you think it was a good idea that the first little pig built his house so quickly and used something that wasn't strong? Like, what would have happened if he'd worked harder? What would have happened if it had taken him longer? And also, why do we think the big bad wolf is so grumpy? Why do you think he wants to come into the house? You know, do you think he's cold? Do you think he's lonely? You can kind of flip it around a bit. The same with Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You know, is it right or wrong to go into a stranger's house? Should you eat somebody else's food? Should you go to sleep in someone else's bed without asking them? But then you could also flip it around and say, you know, I wonder if Goldilocks hasn't got a house. What if her mummy hasn't got any food to feed her? What if she hasn't got a nice comfy bed? And it can just make them think about it differently, and then that can open all sorts of conversations at home about homelessness, about people having different amounts of money, and, you know, then you can be compassionate and give things to a food bank or donate things to a charity shop. Just really lovely kind of traits to instill in our children. I've also got a book about a little girl who wants a chicken, and she gets a chicken and she's happy for a day, but then she decides that one chicken isn't enough and she wants 2 chicken, and then it doubles and doubles and doubles until the house is overrun with chickens, and it's just crazy. So, and that opens up all sorts of conversations about being happy with what we've got and how we can't have everything that we want. Yeah, quite a nice one. So some other classics that you might have on your bookshelves, You Choose, which is a really great one to do as a family. You know, if you all sit around, then we can listen to other people's opinions about their favourite things. As you know, there's like hundreds of choices on a page as to what would you like to eat, what sort of bed would you like to sleep in. We all have our different opinions, and we all have different reasons for choosing the things that we choose. And it's just really interesting for children to be able to acknowledge and know that we're not all the same, and that's absolutely fine. And it will really help them boost that self-esteem to be able to recognise everybody is an individual. So you could also play games like Would You Rather. So would you rather be a giant elephant? Lots of benefits to being big. Or would you rather be a bee? Do people like bees? Would it be fun being a bee? Do people try and hurt bees? Would you like making honey? Do you like honey? All those sorts of questions. And today, interestingly, I was reading a book called Schools for Dads with the children that I look after, and it opened all sorts of questions about, so these children basically want their dads to go to school because they're always late at picking them up, and they've decided that they need to go back to school to learn how to be better dads. But some of the comments that the little girl makes are really great ones to kind of question. So she says, you know, don't ever say no to us. And don't ever tell us it's time to go when we're at our friends' houses. So, like, we were really able to open up those questions to, it might be a bit sad if we never went home and saw our own toys and our own family. And would it be good if grown-ups never said no? What if grown-ups let us eat unhealthy food all the time? What if grown-ups never said we had to have a bath? What if grown-ups let us run across the road? You know, so it then kind of makes the child think that, actually there are like rules in place to keep me safe, to keep me healthy. And mummy and daddy and whoever looks after me, my teacher, may sometimes have to say no because it's what's best for me. And yeah, it was really interesting having those sorts of conversations today with a 2 and a 4-year-old, and how I could really kind of get that they were thinking, they were like taking it all in and justifying things in their heads. And okay, we have to have a bath because otherwise we might be a bit smelly and dirty and get poorly and we get germs in our tummy. So, you know, all those sorts of things. The same with cleaning teeth. You know, are we doing it to be mean, or are we doing it because we love you so much? When we say hold hands to cross the road and you don't like it, it's because we love you so much and you're precious and we want you to be safe. So yeah, all these sorts of things can just open up a world outside their line of thinking, and in the long run it's just going to help children to be critical thinkers, which is what we want. So thank you for listening. Do Google P4C, Philosophy for Children. There's some really good animated clips that you can watch with your children, and then question what's happened in the clips afterwards. Most books have got some kind of moral in them, so make sure that you take the opportunity to discuss it and give your point of view, listen to their point of view, question their point of view, and hopefully they'll learn to do that to you as well. So we are all reflecting all the time, and hopefully we will be raising children that are going to make such a positive contribution to society and make this world one big happy place. Thanks for listening.